Hey guys, retired at 40. Spring has officially sprung, stuff's turning green, but it's still a little bit too early to plant most things here in Zone 5. So I have been using this greenhouse for the last couple months, and it's really been doing well, but it's real expensive. It's about $2,500, so I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way that you can make a geodesic dome greenhouse for much less. So I thought about it for quite a while, and I was trying to figure out how to make the circle base and how to make that sturdy enough to support something that would have big arches going over the top. So I think I've got the solution. And it was staring me right in the face. The trampoline. So we've had this beat down trampoline for lots and lots of years, and it's starting to get pretty crunchy. So you can find these just about anywhere. They're all over Craigslist, people getting rid of them, Facebook classifieds. I'm sure you can find one in a junkyard. So the first thing I'm going to do is tear it all apart, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to convert this into this. So my biggest goals for building this is I want to keep the cost down, obviously. If you've seen my other hoop house video, it's kind of just a traditional hoop house. I was able to build that for about $150, and I'm thinking this might even be a little bit less than that. And my other goal is I want it to be able to withstand the weather. I know a lot of people that use these live in climates that don't necessarily have the greatest winter and early growing season weather. Going for it so far is it's free. So the first thing you'll notice is that the circle is about the same size as the $2,500 hoop house. So we're way ahead of the game already. The second really huge plus of this is that when you flip this over, you've got these little mounts where the support legs sat. And those are gonna be perfect for putting our PVC in. So we've already got a nice galvanized steel, which is going to be great for weatherproof. The steel also is going to give us some great strength for the base. So we've got a great base to start with, and the price was right. Let's go get some materials. Alright, so far our total cost is $60.43. So I counted 12 of these, which means I'm gonna have to have 6 big arches going across like this. All right, so here's my pile of goods so far. And you can see that this is the gray PVC. And the reason why I like gray is a couple of reasons. The gray is for electrical. It's a lot better than the white PVC because it's meant to go outside. So it's UV protected or resistant, and it'll last a lot longer. The other reason I like it is it has two different ends to it. It's got the female end and it's got the male end. So when you put them together, you get one nice solid piece like that. So I understand all these are going to be just a little bit different, but as luck would have it on mine, this diameter on this is just over an inch, and my PVC is a 1-inch PVC. So it slips down in there perfect. I was originally going to make my hoops 20 feet because each of these pieces is 10 feet long, which means since there was 12 little outlets, I would need 6 arches, so basically I would need 12 pieces of PVC. But I'm going to show you why that's not going to work. So I want to be able to stand up inside of here, and it's not quite long enough. So I bought a couple of extra pieces. I'm going to take those and I'm going to piece them in the center, and then we're going to make it so it's tall enough that you can stand up inside of it. So I'm going to try 4 feet and see how much of a difference that makes. Obviously our male end right here will fit down into the holder. This coupler side is not going to fit down, so rather than hacking it off, I'm going to take the piece that we just cut and I'm going to put the two coupler ends with the piece in the middle, and then on each end we'll have a piece that will fit down in the holder. All right, so it looks like 4 feet is really good. It's just the perfect height. It gives you enough vertical wall that you can actually get some beds and stuff in there. I do think before I go any farther, I'm gonna try and get the base secured. You can see it's kind of falling apart over here, and the more hoops I put in here, the more it's gonna wanna kind of pull it apart. Okay, so as I put these in here, it keeps pulling this apart. So I'm gonna try and get these put together. I'm gonna drill a pilot hole in the inside so it's not rubbing on the plastic when we get that on. And I'm going to take a self-tapping screw and just screw that into that hole. Alright, we're all screwed, so to speak. I want to take a minute to welcome you to the channel if you've never been here before. We do some self-sustained living, some gardening, some cooking and grilling, some food preservation, and you get to join me and my family on our retirement at the age of 40. So take a moment to subscribe, click the bell to get notifications of new videos that come out. If you like the content we provide, make sure you give us a thumbs up, and feel free to drop us a comment. We love hearing from you guys. Okay, so our base is nice and sturdy now. We've got our first hoop across here. I'm gonna cut one more to go across here, and I'm gonna cut it at the same length so it will actually help this from drooping a little bit. That'll give us a nice foundation. And another little tip, if you can leave these out in the sun so they just kind of get beat on by the sun a little bit, it warms them up and they actually bend a lot easier and a lot nicer. So now that we know that everything fits, you need some solvent cement. This is actually made for the gray PVC. I believe you can probably also use an all-purpose, but you want to make sure. I think the difference between the gray PVC is it's okay if sun beats on it. It doesn't make it brittle over time. So we have a really nice base, but I'm not liking where these come together right here, because we're gonna have 6 of those. They're gonna be really ugly and they're gonna kind of be mishmashed. So I found one of these. So if you're looking for these are actually called a cross T. This is 1-inch PVC. They don't actually make them in the gray. They only make them in Schedule 40 in the white, as far as I know. I looked for a little bit and I couldn't find them. Even on the internet, I couldn't find them. What would really be helpful is if you could find one of these where all of the hoops would come into it, but I don't know that they make them. Maybe a greenhouse supply company would make one. If you know about one, please leave me a comment in the comments section, because it would be very helpful just with that mishmash of where everything kind of comes together. So this will actually help clean it up quite a bit. I'm only gonna have 3 of these where all of the hoops come together, so they'll kind of just sit on top of each other. Now that we've got our cross tees, this is a 3/8 by 6-inch, and it's an exterior carriage bolt. And you're gonna need a drill bit that will clear that carriage bolt. We're gonna drill a hole in the middle of this, and we're gonna pop this through all 3 of these, and that will keep them all solid and nice and together. So along with the carriage bolt, I've got a nut, obviously, and 2 washers and a lock washer. So we're going to take our 4-foot section, we're just going to cut that in half, and that'll give us some room to add that T in. And then while I'm at it, I'm actually going to cut a few more of these, and that way we can finish our hoops. Alright, so what you're going to end up with is 3 of these cross sections like this. And then these are going to be the cross sections for your 12 hoops.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small, we can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me.
Okay, we're down to our last couple of steps for the frame. I want to just kind of bulk this up a little bit just because it's going to be affected by the wind if we don't. And how I'm going to do that is take some 1/2" electrical PVC. Same as what we use for the frame, it's just a little bit narrower. And we're going to build a circle that goes all the way around here. So before we do that, we need to make sure that this is good and set down all the way around. You need to make sure that all of those are completely set down as far as you can. And then you can see this one has a hole on each side. So ideally you could just run a bolt through there and that would keep it down nice and tight. For now, I think I'm just gonna take just a screw and run it down through there just to get it started, but we need to do that all the way around. So I'm gonna take one of my scrap pieces of PVC. I'm gonna figure out how high I want this to sit on all. I'm gonna mark it. Okay, so I've marked on each one of these the proper height. I'm gonna drill a hole right on that line in the center. Take some of your leftover 1" drill a hole all the way through it. And then take a bigger drill bit and just on one side. So what this will allow you to do is you have 2 holes in there. You can slide this smaller 1/2" through it and just kind of thread the needle all the way around. And then we're gonna need 12 just little itty bitty screws. Those are gonna go through here and onto the thick hoop PVC. So the great thing about this method too is if you wanted to add another one of these or even 2 or 3 more of these to just really get it to be rigid if you're in a high wind area, it's totally doable and it's not going to get in the way of anything. It's just going to add a little bit of extra cost. Okay, so now that our frame is done, let's total up the cost and see what we're into this for. I've got a feeling we're pretty well under $100. So I do want to let you know the $100 is just for the frame. I figured a lot of people will want to do their own kind of plastic, maybe make their own kind of door. However, I am going to make a part 2 and I'll put it out next week and that'll show us how to make the door. We'll get it fastened down with some stakes. I'll show you how to make some stakes for real inexpensive. And then best of all, I'm going to make it so it's self-watering, so you can throw it on a timer and it'll just water itself every day. Alright, so for our total we've got 15 pieces of 1" PVC. Those are $3.73 a piece. That gives us a total of $55.95. So next we have 3 pieces of 1/2" PVC. Those are $2.21 a piece. That gives us a total of $6.63. Next we have 3 of the PVC cross tees in schedule 40. Those are $9.54. And then we have some various carriage bolts, screws, nuts, bolts, you know, all that kind of stuff. That was $11.02. And don't forget the most important part was our trampoline, and that was free. Our grand total was only $83.04. So building a DIY geodesic dome greenhouse, my original one that I purchased was $2,500. So at less than $85, you could build several of them if you wanted to. So if you found the video helpful and hopefully it spurred some ideas of your own, make sure you give me a thumbs up. I always welcome comments if you have improvements or suggestions for me in order to improve the design. Don't forget to join me next week when we're going to cover it with some greenhouse plastic. We're going to fasten it to the ground. We're going to put the door in, and we're also going to make it self-watering. In the meantime, this is Retired at 40. Remember to live life simple. We'll catch you next week.